feel. Feel what I feel. Huh.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee!
OSIM.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of Hero Spotlight, featuring Arlet, the Lone Lancer. Arlet is a highly mobile fighter that weaves through battle like a vengeful wraith. Hero skills. First skill, Dauntless Strike. Arlet slams down his dealing physical damage. Closer targets will be stunned momentarily, while those further away will be stunned for the full duration. Second skill, Vengeance. Arlet charges at a target with his spear, dealing physical damage. If the target is marked by Demon Gaze, this skill is guaranteed to crit and reset its cooldown. It will also restore Arlet's HP. Ultimate Final Slash. Arlet performs a wide, sweeping attack, dealing physical damage to targets and displacing them to the end of the swing. Passive skill, Demon Gaze. Arlet's demonic eyes will periodically mark a nearby enemy hero. Demon Gaze will also mark enemy units near Arlet that are affected by control effects from any source. Pro tips. Dauntless Strike is best used from a short distance, positioned to catch enemies at the end of the AoE for the full stun effect. Vengeance is Arlet's primary source of damage and sustain. If an enemy is just out of reach, stun minions and use Vengeance to leapfrog and quickly cover the gap. When low on HP, Arlet can mark a group of minions with his stun and chain cast Vengeance to quickly recover. Final Slash is a powerful displacement ability that can push enemies out of position for picks or unleashed at the perfect moment to catch the entire team. Combo tips. During the lading phase, wait for your passive to mark the enemy hero. Then strike them with Vengeance, followed by Dauntless Strike to stun and reapply the mark. Use Vengeance again and weave in a basic attack before finishing with another Vengeance. When going into a team fight, look for opportunities to use Vengeance on marked enemies. Use Final Slash to mark and group up enemies and tear into them with skill resets. Use Dauntless Strike to stun low enemies and finish them off with Vengeance. Tactics. Arlet is a formidable hero in the early and mid-game. By repeatedly marking the enemy, he can use Vengeance multiple times in quick succession to wear down his opponent while healing himself. After gearing up in the late game, Arlet becomes an even deadlier force, with more defense on top of his mobility and the constant healing from Vengeance resets. Arlet can sustain himself through the fight to continue dishing out damage. For his role as a fighter, we recommend this equipment build to bolster his damage and self-sustain. Choose the fighter emblem to further enhance his survivability, and for battle spells, we recommend Petrify to synergize with his passive and Vengeance skill. Arlet, the Lone Lancer, coming February 14th, 30% off during launch week. Get his Wandering Spear skin for only 51 diamonds the first 2 weeks. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn. Arlet, Lone Lancer, official release 0214.
Pain is the proof that I'm still alive.
Mega kill! Legendary! Double kill!
Stopping time. Feels what I feel. Feels what I feel.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of Hero Spotlight, featuring Arlet, the Lone Lancer. Arlet is a highly mobile fighter that weaves through battle like a vengeful wraith. Hero skills. First skill, Dauntless Strike. Arlet slams down his spear, dealing physical damage. Closer targets will be stunned momentarily, while those further away will be stunned for the full duration. Second skill, Vengeance. Arlet charges at a target with his spear, dealing physical damage. If the target is marked by Demon Gaze, this skill is guaranteed to crit and reset its cooldown. It will also restore Arlet's HP. Ultimate Final Slash. Arlet performs a wide, sweeping attack, dealing physical damage to targets and displacing them to the end of the swing. Passive skill, Demon Gaze. Arlet's demonic eyes will periodically mark a nearby enemy hero. Demon Gaze will also mark enemy units near Arlet that are affected by control effects from any source. Pro tips. Dauntless Strike is best used from a short distance. positioned to catch enemies at the end of the AoE for the full stun effect. Vengeance is Arlet's primary source of damage and sustain. If an enemy is just out of reach, stun minions and use Vengeance to leapfrog and quickly cover the gap. When low on HP, Arlet can mark a group of minions with his stun and chain cast Vengeance to quickly recover. Final Slash is a powerful displacement ability that can push enemies out of position for picks or unleashed at the perfect moment to catch the entire team. Combo tips. During the laning phase, wait for your passive to mark the enemy hero. Then strike them with Vengeance, followed by Dauntless Strike to stun and reapply the mark. Use Vengeance again, and weave in a basic attack before finishing with another Vengeance. When going into a team fight, look for opportunities to use Vengeance on marked enemies. Use Final Slash to mark and group up enemies and tear into them with skill resets. Use Dauntless Strike to stun low enemies and finish them off with Vengeance. Tactics. Arlet is a formidable hero in the early and mid-game. By repeatedly marking the enemy, he can use Vengeance multiple times in quick succession to wear down his opponent while healing himself. After gearing up in the late game, Arlet becomes an even deadlier force, with more defense on top of his mobility and the constant healing from Vengeance resets. Arlet can sustain himself through the fight to continue dishing out damage. For his role as a fighter, we recommend this equipment build to bolster his damage and self-sustain. Choose the fighter emblem to further enhance his survivability, and for battle spells, we recommend Petrify to synergize with his passive and Vengeance skill. Arlet, the Lone Lancer, coming February 14th, 30% off during launch week. Get his Wandering Spear skin for only 51 diamonds the first 2 weeks. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn. Arlet, Lone Lancer, official release 0214.
Pain is the proof that I'm still alive.
Mega kill! Legendary! Double kill!
I'm stopping time. Feel what I feel. Feel what I feel.
I am Optimus Prime.
No one can outrun Bumblebee.
OSIM.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of Hero Spotlight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to match 4 right here for week 3, day 1 here at MPL SG Season 5. Now, this is a highlight match right here for the day that you definitely don't want to miss, closing the show right here at week 3, day 1. Reason being, ladies and gentlemen, this is a clash of the Romans. Yes, what a wonderful match that's about to unfurl right here before us. Now, for all of our lovely fans right here, fans and friends right here on Mobile Legends Bang Bang, you are in for a treat as well. Any selfie that you take right here at the venue, and if you hashtag our pride, our passion to show support to our boys, as well as tag mpl.sg.official and post it onto your social media, just show it to any one of our friendly crew members and you will be rewarded handsomely. So yes, all of you guys tuning in online as well, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday right here with us today, and you guys will also be getting some lovely gifts right here in the stream. All you guys got to do is just pay attention to our casters later on. Now, as we have mentioned, this is a highlight match that you don't want to miss, reason being that this is a clash of the Romans that we're gonna see in a few moments time. So are you guys ready? Let's meet the team, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you RSG Slate SG. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as our defending champions are just getting themselves really comfortable right now, here is the team that we will see if they can taint that perfect record that RSG Slate SG has. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Team Flash. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just feeling super buzzed right here for this match because we're going to be seeing vastly different play styles right here within these two teams right beside me here right now. So as you guys can see, the one making waves right here at MPL SG Season 5 from RSG Slate SG, we have Lucian Cutie right here with us. He's from the Philippines and he's going to breathe a new breath of fresh air right here to how we roam in Singapore. Whereas, from Indonesia, my bad. So over on the other hand, we have Cram God right here from the Philippines. So yes, we're gonna see Philippine style and Indonesian style right here in both of our roam lanes right here in MPL SG Season 5. So this is a very refreshing match that you definitely don't want to miss. Who will emerge victorious? We can only find out, so let's hand our time back over to the casters.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MPL SG right on the caster's desk. My name is Abstract, with me here is Tsuki as well as Vertigo. We are here to, of course, tell you guys a lot more about this Battle of Romans. Ooh. Battle of imports and Battle of jerseys.
Oh, I mean, their jerseys are honestly both pretty awesome. I love the color schemes.
Yeah, but, who would you put the win though? You have to choose one.
Yes, of course. I would choose Evil any day. But no, all jokes aside, I really like RSG's new jerseys. It feels like they actually put their heart into it. Not that they didn't put their heart into it.
What do you mean by that?
For the past season.
You mean that they don't put their heart into it?
No, I know they put their heart, but their jersey is just built different this season.
You know what I think it is? It's the pop-up collar. I think the pop-up collar is nice.
It's really nice.
I think that they will build the same, the same kind of material. And
yeah, I mean, as in build different,
like dry fit, a little bit here and there.
Of course it's dry fit. Of course it has to be dry fit.
But you know what? Speaking of dry fit, you know what's not dry fit? Well, the players themselves, I suppose.
They're wearing dry fit, what do you mean?
No, they themselves are flesh and bones, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
are wearing dry fit.
All right, and for RSG Slate SG, we have Oki, we have Roy, Diablo, Bray, and Lucian Cutie.
That's right. No change to the lineups though, and Roy is still there on the mid lane and proving his worth with his rotation and just mechanically outclassing everybody.
So honestly, when it comes down to RSG Slate SG, they have been playing flawlessly. They haven't lost a single series just yet. So honestly, what do our boys over from the side of Flash gotta do against these top dogs?
I mean, they just have to play something different, right? They have to go for the most unorthodox picks. I mean, even last week, Abstract mentioned that, you know, their picks are really off the books. And Tsuki, what do you think about, you know, the current lineup of Team Flash SG right
You
now?
mean where Vanix, Jay, Vex, Yon, and Kremgod are in?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
I think I actually am very impressed with the way that they have, I think, grown over the season, especially with Jay coming in. I really enjoy the way that they play. It is a very, I wouldn't say it's a different play style, right?
Yeah.
But I think that their mechanical skills have sort of been brought to life under Jay's leadership. And before that, you know, I believe it was Joe playing for them.
Yes.
And so, not to say that Joe is a mechanically flawed player, but I think you just need a little bit of leadership, and Jay has brought that for Flash. So I'm kind of excited for it.
Well, I believe that we can find out a lot more about what exactly they gotta have to do because, well, so far they have been playing quite a lot. Now, Tsuki, tell me a little bit more about RSG's keys to victory here.
So RSG, as we have noticed, is that they have basically taken every game and, you know, just taken control and immediately brought it to a snowball, which became a rock ball, which basically is a train wreck for the enemy team. So hitting Flash with their signature aggressive start and not giving enemy teams any chance to breathe. So they need to keep doing this for Flash, or against Flash. And also Bray is just such a game changer for them that they need to let him have the space to do what he can do.
Of course, since we were talking about, you know, the battle of Romans, I'm pretty sure that Lucian Cutie plays a very big part in how RSG themselves moves around. Of course, he definitely have the understanding from the Indonesian side. But when it comes down to, you know, kind of mixing things up a little bit, you know, we're Singapore, we have a lot kind of different cultures, we have a lot of different ways to play the game. This time, Flash is going to show us a little bit different, things a little bit differently, perhaps showing RSG how the Filipinos play when it comes down to the Romans.
Exactly, and for the keys to victory for Team Flash SG right now is to not let RSG Slate control the pace of the game, and Yon needs to be aggressive. But that's the thing, right? RSG, they are used to aggressiveness. They love aggressiveness. They love letting the enemy play into their hands, and of course protecting Vanix in the late game.
Now, one thing that we were looking at a second point this when it comes down to keys to victory, right? Yon needs to be aggressive. This is something that is very important because so far when it comes down to Flash, Yon hasn't exactly been always popping off.
Yeah.
There are definitely some flashes of brilliances, but these flashes are literally like a quick little flash. It's not exactly like a
Not a team
constant
flash.
light. Oh crap!
Right.
It's not a flash for the team.
I didn't realize that I punted.
Yeah, you punted multiple times as well. But
Yay.
no, but yeah, so taking your point there, you know, I think because Yon, we have seen him always on the assassin junglers.
Almost always Hayabusa as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Fanny. Hayabusa or Fanny are his two
Yes.
main choices. And I think without that sort of
Wow.
a tanky frontliner, it's very difficult for Flash because then they have to choose tanky frontliners in their other lanes.
Exactly, and RSG Slate SG, take a look at Oki. 846 on the goal per minute with a 9.38 KDA. All these are averages, but these averages coming out from RSG Slate SG are extremely high.
We really need to remember 846 GPM from the side of Oki. But of course, when it comes down to the EXP laners, we have put a lot of emphasis that EXP laners shapes the game as well.
Yeah.
And looking at how Diablo has been playing things around, you know, 6.68 when it comes down to the average KDA, we don't really have a very good idea as to how much space they created. But so far, when it comes down to statistics, we can definitely tell something here, Suki.
I do feel like, you know, if you look directly at these statistics, like Flash, the stats obviously don't look as good as RSG Slate SG, but we also have to remember that they did have a slow start to the season. right? So RSG Slate, they have been doing well the entire season. Their stats are going to show that. And Team Flash, even though they, I guess you could say that they had a slower start, they didn't do so well in the first week-ish. Flash now have come back with, I think, a very dominant, not say dominant, I would say it's a very persuasive argument that they're going to be able to do well moving forward.
I suppose that, for the start, for when it comes down to Flash, they fought against Bleed, they fought against Revival. So far, it didn't really work that well. But fortunately for them, they did manage to win 2 games though, and that is Evil as well as Stellark. Right, so right now, when it comes down to the start of the day, right, they themselves are pretty much on equal hands with SMG, they are equal grounds against with Revival as well.
Yeah.
So they are all, neck and neck. But because of the fact that Revival has already gotten themselves 1 series win, Revival is 1 step ahead of Team Flash. So Team Flash definitely gonna have to do something about this game and hope that they will be able to get a 2-0.
Exactly. And taking a look at the predictions right now, of course, I have to go against everybody.
No, I have to.
Talk about
I
it.
have to agree with actually your choice in this scenario because I do think that Flash have a real opportunity here to take a game away from RSG SG. This is something that I believe is possible.
Hot take, ladies and gentlemen.
But at the same time, I have to go with what the stats are telling me, which is that RSG Slate is going to come ahead. At the same time, like I said, Team Flash, very, very high chance to do very well today.
Exactly. And we did saw a very good upset happening last week. So we didn't see an upset yet this week. So probably in the last game, we might be able to see an upset because of my prediction, because I have to go that way now. But it's not, I don't choose because of the stats. I choose because of my heart. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not that my heart doesn't go out to RSG Slate. They are a highly respected team. They are so stable. It's like a mountain.
Yeah, so now the question is, the fact that Alchemy managed to get 1 point away, not say 1 point, but they were close to getting 1 point away from RSG. How much of that would change for the other teams that are going against RSG? Would they have learned something? Well, let's break it down here when it comes down to the draft between RSG and Flash. Starting things off with a ban onto Glue, Arlet, and Martis.
Looking at the bands right now, the Glue and the Arlet, they are... I don't know how to put this to perspective, but they are locking down onto Vex because we saw how Vex played last week. He's jumping in, he's gaining, and he's making these big plays.
I am the power of light incarnate.
Just pandemonium coming out. And a Flash making the right choice there, banning away the Kaja. They do not want any sort of isolation or negation and tankiness coming out from especially the Martis as well, hence the ban.
I think coming from RSG, you definitely want to ban out
Fun
heroes
is all that
that
matters.
might interrupt your game plan, right? We've seen RSG Slate being able to push out very aggressive lineups that will last into the late game. So, I think Blue, Arlet, these are all very valid bans from the side of RSG Slate. Meanwhile, on the side of Flash, it feels like they are heroes that they don't want to play against, right? They don't want to play against the Martis, the Kaja, or the Fasa here. So,
Time to drop the
does-
beat of the Flash.
Your team is picking.
oh, they let the Joy through?
Yeah, the Joy
wow.
through.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Very good
Interesting.
drafting coming out from St. Lucas as well. It's awesome. They just left that Joy open for themselves because they are first pick, and Joy has one of the highest ban rate as well. But RSG Slate SG left it open for themselves and snatched it up.
Let's talk statistics right now.
Yes, go.
Joy has a 100% ban pick rate.
Wow.
You will see Joy one way or another.
Yeah.
Either colorized
didn't
version
cure
or
the pain.
saturated,
Great.
desaturated version, right?
Great version.
Right.
We have got an 89% ban rate onto Joy and only 11% pick rate. And so far, that 11%
A glorious
means
victory
5
is
picks.
now
And
foreseeable.
unfortunately, for this 5 picks, only 2 of these games were a win. So how big of a game changer is Joy really gonna be?
Ooh,
Pain
speaking of game
is
changer,
the proof that I'm
Esmeralda.
still alive.
Purple dragon
and,
is ready
this is the
anytime.
first time that Esmeralda is coming out in the regular season, and who else to pick it up other than Flash? And St. Lucas, he must have seen this coming.
You know, I'm very excited for this Esmeralda pick because I feel like it's gonna play in very well into the meta, which is, you know, this tanky meta, this sort of ultra long sustained fights with multiple re-engagements. But yeah.
I know why. I know why the Esmeralda was picked.
Why?
It should negate the shield from
It's
Joy.
just the shield.
Yeah, it's just to cut the
Just the
shield.
shield.
Just the shield.
But here's the thing though, because if they are picking up the Esmeralda just for the shields that Diablo is potentially going to be playing, yes, sure.
Fame,
When
a
it comes down to
flashy
theory,
accompaniment.
it
Your
definitely
team
sounds
is
good.
banning.
It denies them of the Fredrin as well.
There is definitely a lot of things that we can look out for. There will be a lot of shields that will be funneled over to the Esmeralda, especially since we were looking at the fact that Esmeralda's generation of shields is becoming lower and lower per patch.
And not only an Esmeralda pick, it's gonna be a Ling. So
Wow.
Ling that has been banned out, I believe, against Yawn almost every single game that Flash is in. He now gets to showcase himself on that hero.
Your
The
team
southern
is banning.
To show himself on the hero, and they want to destroy anyone who can, you know, instantly stop or deny that Ling. And so they're going to be banning out that Kaja, that Fasa, and as well as that Kadita. They do not want this Ling being disturbed at all. And RSG Slate SG banning away the Franco. So what are they signaling towards here?
This is, I think, one of the most exciting drafts that I've seen in a while, just because we are so used to the first pick Fredrins, the Groks, the heavy artillery, you know, your Madis, your Lapu, the high HP heroes being priority here. But as we look at these two lineups, just the half of it that we can see, that's not the case. They're looking to, I think, be very aggressive, to go for the kills, right? Esmeralda as a hero, you cannot really play her passively. She has to be in the thick of the action to get stuff done. And that's going to show that, you know, Flash are ready to bring the fight here to RSG.
Fight for the ultimate answer.
Banning away the Hilda. So this Cho, why ban the Hilda though? Because this Cho was definitely going to go into the tank role as well. But that's the flexibility. The Cho could go easily into the EXP, and that Joy could easily go into the jungle.
Could also go to the jungle. If oh wait, you did say the I thought you said roam. Okay,
yeah,
so,
roam and then
so
jungle.
that could
both.
be roam, EXP, jungle.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, if we are nitpicking, Joy could go mid as well.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
true.
Technically,
Need some
the Cho
stitches?
could
I
go
can
mid, right? I
help.
believe someone
Oh,
did play
yeah,
Cho
yeah.
mid as well.
It was
Someone
actually Jay.
Jay.
Yeah, that's a
It's
bit
actually
different.
Jay.
So yeah, so I think this lineup is just very, very flexible, and I think it's good because it keeps Team Flash guessing.
Yeah.
Right, what's gonna happen next for RSG Slate?
I mean, it keeps Saint DeLucas on the side of RSG guessing as well, don't you think so? I mean, Saint DeLucas did not expect this Esmeralda coming out. He did not expect this, this Link.
Your team
Maybe he
is
might have
strong.
expected this Link because it is your
It's time
signature
to go to
hero,
the
and
RSG
there was a
show.
Hayabusa as well.
Some fun.
Wow, and going instead for the
Sand
Zulia,
rises
so-
when I give the
Oh
word.
my god!
Oh!
It's Khalid Tang.
Oh my!
No, it's not Khalid Tang, guys.
No, it's not.
It's
But
Khalid EXP.
sorry, I said oh my because of the Khalid, not because of what you said, Vertigo. It's just like, you know, like look, they have played this Khalid, they have tried it out, and they
Yeah.
recognize that it works. So they're going to pick that into this lineup of Flash. I think I'm actually very excited for RSG's lineup because this is
It's
something
great.
that is very exciting from a, I guess, action viewpoint. It's going to be full of action. There's going to be a lot of, I think,
Team
kiting,
fights,
team
yeah.
fights. There's going to be some assassinations.
I think Flash is more towards the assassination as well. Just not because they have an assassin.
Just because of the lane.
just because of it. But RSG Slate SG, their composition, their draft is a big team fighter. And Flash right now picking up on that Kufra. So you can deny the Joy, the Khalid, as well as the Brody. Yeah, this four. You have the 4 heroes to deny away from the dashes with the bouncing ball from the Kufra as well. And a very good catcher to go in deep into enemy lines, just like what Flash has planned.
So Vertigo, before we go into the game, which lineup do you like more?
I mean, I have to go with my bias, right? Kufra.
Kufra? So
Yes.
Flash?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
to go Flash. Because of that Kufra, it just provides so much, especially coming out in the last pick. Yes, people might like first pick more. Second pick is always best because you do not know, you always have the versatility of that with such a big hero pool for Mobile Legends. Bang, bang.
And ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare the field in the land of Dawn, we, of course, are looking at the Battle of Rome's Battle
5
of
seconds till the
Jerseys.
enemy
I guess
reaches
we
the
can go out and say that.
Smash
But
them.
in the end of the day, it is gonna be RSG versus Flash. And both of these
Welcome
teams
to
have
Mobile
excited
Legends.
us with such a lineup, and it is definitely a delight, especially since we are starting things off with a huge bang with Diablo completely taken off to most of his health taken away.
Yeah, so the very aggressive start already from Team Flash. I mean, it's just about setting the mood, right? And even Losing Kitty not giving Cramgod any space here, just harassing the side of Team Flash, just trying to threaten this purple buff, daring the Ling to come in. And I think, you know, this already showcases both teams are bloodthirsty right now.
I think that there's definitely a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes down to RSG's lineup. And just from looking at the fact that they have a Joy that's going to be onto the jungle, and he is not using the Demon Slayer emblem, it really just yells at the fact that RSG, they are not trying to look out for a win in objective. They are absolutely just banking on probably aggressive kills.
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, Ling, you know, his movement around the map is going to be very key, I think, for Team Flash, because he needs to be there for a lot of team fights that, you know, other members of his team cannot respond to. So RSG here, they are taking the objectives, they are clearing out the jungle, they are making sure that they're giving themselves a bit of a lead here and already getting a very small lead in terms of gold from the side of RSG, hoping, I think, to push back Team Flash and sort of make them hesitate in their game plan.
I believe that what we have here in the EXP lane is probably a quick little
First blood.
bait and switch kind of thing going on, with Diablo going
Blue
straight
team
in
hero has
onto the
been
collision
slain.
instead of the
Red
original
team
planned
hero has
Joy.
been
As
slain.
for now, we are immediately looking at a 2-1 scoreline, with RSG getting themselves the first kills and of course a couple of advantages. Remember how I said about the fact that RSG is looking for early game kills and aggressiveness? This is the epitome of that.
It's very exciting for me to see that both sides have chosen a squishier sort of jungle, and so that is going to be very different from what we've seen so far. A lot of like Fedrin versus Archive, and Losing Cutie is just being such a menace, harassing the side of Team Flash, but that's just frustrating Team Flash, I think, and keeping them away from the objectives that RSG want to get.
That's a very good point. The main reason why RSG is able to get themselves the first turtle despite this composition of theirs, because we all understood and we know that Joy doesn't really have a very strong control of the turtle, of the objectives. You can't win against a lot of teams when it comes down to that portion of objective taking. But because of their trust onto Losing Cutie and the fact that he's playing as a Cho, he's able to open up maps and really look at everyone as in a whole view. It is going to help RSG in a massive contact.
And I mean, you know, Losing Cutie went down there, he definitely stayed way too long, but at the same time that has bought so much space for the other members of RSG to gain pressure around the map. And even Bray here, being such a harassment, maybe gonna be able to take down Jay as well. Almost, but no, maybe they're gonna turn this around. Roy is in a bit of trouble, he's gonna take the turret shot, he's gonna get the kill on Jay.
He does have the black shoes, so he knows that he will be able to jump in a little bit deeper than he normally would have. If not for the black shoes, there's no way that he's going to be overcompensating like that.
I also find it quite interesting because I believe Joy is going for a full tank build in this scenario. But never mind, Lucio Cutie going to get Cramgod here.
Immediately with the Way of Dragon, he did manage to put Cramgod down onto the ground and help him be part of the earth. With 2% down, Vanix as well as Cramgod, they do have the control of the northern region of the maps already. And RSG immediately backed off and tried to get even more territorial advantage.
I love how Losing Cutie is playing, right? We were just talking about him giving so much space over to RSG, and what did we see there? Like, he was just, you know, even if he got caught out, the rest of the team are ready to fill in the gaps when needed. And so Losing Cutie is protecting who he needs to protect. He's making sure that nobody is going to jump in on his Brody, nobody's going to jump in on his Lilia. Meanwhile, Diablo, he's a bit left out in the bottom lane, but that's fine because he's a Khalid and his job is to maintain that pressure to push against the forces of Team Flash.
Exactly. Losing Cutie is doing a great job, and now he's immediately opening things up and pulling for his team and making sure that all of the members from the side of Team Flash jumps onto him first. But unfortunately, RSG just doesn't have enough reinforcements to take up this fight. As such, it kind of seems as though Diablo is going to be the number one to fall prey to the aggressive points of Flash.
You know, at the same time, you know, maybe that was a bit of a misplay on the side of RSG, but look at where Roy is and look how low the Esmeralda is. I think you have to be a little bit worried if you are Team Flash here, because they did have to use so many of their heroes to take down 2 of RSG. Meanwhile, their top lane was pushed in, and Joy was very happily tree farming their jungle.
Yep, it's all about opening the space of the map and trying to give the rest of the members of the side of RSG even more fun. Because this is back to the original point about gold advance, or when it comes down to gold priority. The main thing that we want to see is Oki getting the first priority, and then followed by Brave the second priority. As long as the two of them constantly get themselves a way to farm, a way to kill, it doesn't really quite matter too much if the rest of the members fall down. As long as they find themselves that open.
And this Esmeralda pick that was supposed to counter the Joy just got taken out 1v1 by Bray here. And that boils down to itemization and how he's been playing. And even now, look, they're all gonna go in on this Bray. But look at the damage! Taking out Yawn, maybe taking out Kremgo as well, but manages to shut him down finally.
This is just a saying. This is what we can expect when it comes down to Joy, and this is the reason why people ban Joy out. Sure, not that good when it comes down to objective, but once you get yourself the ball rolling, you have got a lot of things to work with. As for now, we're just going to hold that thought for a little bit as we are looking at RSG trying to invade into the opponent's jungle and take their purple buff away. It is not exactly going anywhere just yet. It's pretty much a stalemate, but Yawn tries to go right in with the Tempest of Blades and with a quick retribution. But that didn't work out.
Yeah, and so, you know, as we are looking at these items, I take my statement back. Joy is not going full tank, he's going full damage.
He's going full damage.
And he's playing so well. You know, the micro dodges that he's been doing with his Joy is just been fantastic. And we saw that fight at the top lane. It was a 1v4 just so that his team could push the mid lane. So on the side of RSG, there isn't like a star player that they're going to protect. They're all going to contribute in the way that they can so that the entirety of the team gets the macro control that they need.
I mean, we're talking about Joy, right? And that is the, well, no pun intended, the joy of playing Joy. Because this hero is capable of dealing damage, have great sustainability because of the shield generation. You've got the movement speed, you've got the crowd control negation / resistance. It's really tough for you to play around that. But then hold on a second, as we are going to be looking at Lisa Cutie, Roy, as well as our friend over here, Oki, getting completely invaded by the side of Flash. They went a little bit Cutie trying to bring down the second tier defense. Sorry, they didn't really quite go that well initially for RSG, but once Bray came into the picture, they managed to mow down 3 of the members from the side of Flash. But that's not over just yet, as Yawn decided to join into the party as well to take the final straggler out, Roy.
I mean, it was a very good jump, I think, onto Team Flash, but we saw Jay playing very well, getting out of that before Lucy could lock him down. And yeah, we look at the damage. Bray and Roy just miles ahead of anyone else.
It really comes to the point where RSG, they don't really have to care about the fact that their team is weak when it comes down to taking objective, because they will not allow Flash reach that kind of situation or that position where they can be neck and neck with RSG. As much as possible, they will be able to put down totems and pretty much just putting out surveillance cameras all around the map. Team Flash would not even have any opportunity to come close to those objectives as we speak.
I mean, you can see already from the minimap, right? Team Flash have been grouping up as 4, and they've been thinking, where is this RSG, I guess, sneak attack coming from? Because they want to make sure that they get the jump, that they get the kill before the Lord comes up. But RSG are playing very differently. They will spread out a little bit more across the map. They're making sure that they're getting the farm needed instead of waiting too long. And there's going to be a big fight here.
Immediately, as we do have Bray just diving right over to the back lines, and of course, with the help of Lucy Cutie, they managed to bring Vanix down immediately. Vix, unfortunately, is going to be the next one to fall. And because of all of that space that they've managed to buy, the second tier defense turret in the middle lane is undoubtedly gone too.
You know, we were talking about how the lineup doesn't necessarily lend to this neutral objective, you know, getting the neutral objectives. They don't have to worry about that. They just take 1 down, take 2 down, and then just go for the objectives themselves. So, I mean, we already saw from the lineup, it's a very aggressive lineup. Both sides want to fight, want to take kills, want to fill that scoreboard up with, I guess, a bloodbath. And yeah, that is exactly what we're seeing right now.
Yep, RSG, right off the start, they are on a tear. They're not going to be allowing Team Flash to do anything at this point in time. And Team Flash, unfortunately, the only thing that they can do is just huddle around and just kind of give each other group hugs until the point that they can, you know, actually be independent. But they don't have anyone aside from Cram God that is able to just walk right into a rush, trying to understand everyone of that. When it comes to information gathering, Cram God is the only one. The jungler, which is the Link, is relatively squishy. And unfortunately, that is just the nature of playing an assassin jungle. There are pros, there are cons, and the cons is you don't have enough front lines, and you can't exactly take control of the map that way.
I think it's quite exciting because both sides haven't really chosen that frontline sort of 5-man fight, but never mind, Lucy is going to go on Cram God. He's going to flicker it, he's going to be fine. And they're just going to be pushing into these turrets here.
The middle lane turret. Oh, not looking good as we do have Bray trying to get himself over to the back lines on the side of Team Flash, but it all hell erupted as the rest of the members from the side of Team Flash is going to be mounting a comeback against RSG. Phoenix immediately takes a flicker forward, but only to be punished by the glooms from Roy.
Bray got a little bit overexcited there. Like, we saw how much his burst damage was, but that's at the enemy base. You're going to be taking those turret shots, and they are going to hurt. Especially since you're not a tank, you're just a Joy.
You do rely a lot on sustainability. We're looking at Joy's item. The main thing that really contributes to the sustainability is, of course, the concentrated energy. The more damage you deal, well, the more life, the more spell vamp that you'll be able to make. And not to forget the amount of shields that you can generate. As long as you hit a new target, that is going to go out of control. But you also have to be very wary as to where the Esmeralda is. At this point in time, they're probably forgetting at the fact that Esmeralda, to a certain extent, takes shields away, or maybe they just don't think that that is impactful enough.
The Esmeralda is only level 11 while Bray is already 15. I think that is going to be very difficult for the Esmeralda to even stand up against Bray. And I believe that, you know, unless RSG let Team Flash get to level 15, let the game go on for a bit too long, I think Flash are going to have to try and hold on if they want to come back to this.
I mean, understandably, the late game factor from the side of Flash will be relatively strong as we look at Esmeralda. Once Esmeralda has gotten the items that she ultimately needed, you can pretty much do things well. In the meantime, hold on a second, Cram God went for a completely blind Tyrant's Revenge, lands right on top of Luce and Cutie. They did manage to buy some time and they did manage to get some information and open up the northern jungle, but aside from that, nothing much is going to be happening aside from Diablo trying to jump over to onto Yawn. That's an assassin jungle that almost got assassinated.
I mean, Luce and Cutie was there as a bait, right? We saw what he wanted to do. He wanted to get behind Jay and he wanted to pick him into his to the enemy team, into RSG, so that they could take him out straight away, get a pick off right off the bat. But even with the majority of Team Flash, you know, targeting Luce and Cutie, they still couldn't get him down. The discrepancy right now between the damage and the levels is a little bit too much for Flash to fight back. So they have to get what they can, getting as much of the jungle now that, you know, RSG have fallen back to build up the waves to go into Team Flash's base once again.
Team Flash right now can only look at the game in a linear direction. They don't have any other game plans that they can essentially work with, aside from hugging the turret, awesome, and just waiting for the perfect time to spring out of control. But, of course, all of these have one caveat, and that is economy. RSG right now have got a 5,000 gold advantage, and that by no means is going to be an easy game for Flash.
I mean, we did see that Bray has already picked up the Divine Glaive, I believe, and on the other side, there's 2 Radiant Armors on the Esmeralda and on the Supra. So, you know, they are trying to control Bray on this Joy, and I think the longer the game goes, they're less afraid of avoiding the P. But then at the same time, you know, RSG have a game plan. They have Oki on that Brody who's going to be able to dish out a lot of high damage.
Oh, the Wheel of Dragon connects down to the Xanax, but unfortunately no follow-ups as Lucy Kitty was unfortunately overwhelmed. The rest of RSG is trying to look for an opportunity to jump over to the back lines, but the only thing that they managed to get is Yawn. I would gotta say, that is a win already. From this point onwards, Team Flash will be having a lot of difficulty to even try to do anything over to the front lines of RSG, considering the fact that they have lost a massive amount of damage potential.
Unfortunately, the waves are not pushed in enough for RSG really to compete against this. They're just hoping that Team Flash are going to overextend a little bit so that they can get a kill. We've seen all of the members of Team Flash go a little bit low, go back and regenerate health. And yeah, RSG Slate going to be a little bit patient. Going to fall back here and going to recollect themselves for maybe an ambush situation.
It's more, yeah, I would agree. The main thing that RSG want to do right now is to, number one, set up an ambush, or number two, wait for Team Flash to make a mistake. If nothing happens, then RSG is very likely just going to wait for the next Lord, and the next Lord should be the GG Lord. If RSG do not end the game by then, the game will get increasingly difficult as Flash slowly gets the farm that they get from the overflowing creeps from all waves.
And this is very good play and positioning from RSG Slate. They know that something is up. Team Flash came out as 5, trying to catch out Oki, but they did not even give them an opportunity here. So this is a really good read of the map coming from RSG Slate. And so this leaves Flash in, once again, that same dire situation of, do we sit in our base and wait for them to come? Or are we going to try to do something that may be our demise, but also maybe their path to victory?
17-11. RSG is widening the economy gaps, and it's getting more and more difficult for Team Flash to even try to defend this one. Remember, all they gotta do is get a good defense against this upcoming Lord. I don't think that they have the opportunity, or do they even have any ways to even contest for this Lord. At this point in time, I'm lost. What can they do to even contest for this Lord? Probably a team fight, a premature team fight, which is what Team Flash is trying to look out for, but it doesn't seem like things are going to be working their way at all. As Viggs, Camcon, and Jay, 3 of them has already been taken down, while RSG didn't even lose a single soul. Yon was hoping that he'll be able to go for a little bit of backdoor, or perhaps try to open some space over in the bottom side, but once he realizes that, it's a little bit too late. Vanix is still going to be wandering around, but what doesn't have the ability to clear the waves fast enough.
You know, I have to say that Team Flash, they took the risk and they came out, but it was a poorly calculated risk because, you know, RSG was waiting. And the thing was that it's interesting because we noticed where Lucien QD was normally standing in that bush to sort of surprise Team Flash. It was actually replaced with Roy. So they already knew, look, Lucien QD was in that bush before. I want to go somewhere else, but they didn't expect RSG to already adapt their play and catch them off guard.
Now, of course, we've got Vertigo back on the desk with us. You're dying to say something.
Yeah, I mean, Flash got the right idea, right? You know, usually the lane would always go for the purple buff first, just like a Fanny, right? But Flash just flipped it on their head. Instead, they went to hunt down onto Diablo because they know Diablo has a very, I wouldn't say it's a bad habit, or a habit to usually cut the very first wave. He loves to cut the first wave, and they tried to punish Diablo with that, but to no avail. Of course, they managed to secure the orange buff followed by the purple buff, but then the moment that kill came down, right, the very first blood came down, they instantly go into this defense plan to protect Yon at all costs, which in turn will make them suffer in their EXP. Hence, Vex was not able to, you know, get that counter that we thought against that Joy to cut that shield. It just wasn't enough.
So ultimately, it's really a game of economy.
Yeah.
It's one team that plays Farmville correctly,
yes,
while the others just don't
Smash
have
button.
the chance to open the game up
at all. They can't even open up the game. I mean, let's take a look at the items coming out right now. Like you said, during the cast as well, we have Vex and Kremgod onto that Radiant armor, definitely towards Roy. But take a look at Roy. He even went for the Necklace of Durance, or NOD, if you will. And it just shows how much, you know, even though they're winning, they still go defensive, right? And Bray as well, opting to go for the full damage Joy instead of the full tank Joy, which is very, very surprising for me.
You know what? Picking up a Necklace of Durance actually tells me a slightly different story.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes down to picking up a Necklace of Durance, it just means that I'm yelling out, I'm independent.
Yeah.
I will deal with my threat alone. But then if you don't get Necklace of Durance, you are heavily reliant on your roam with the Dominance Eyes. So it's fair to say that Roy, he knows what he's up to, and he just wants to play the game with the spotlight on him.
we actually did see Roy. I think it was one of the second to last fights, I think, going up against the Esmeralda. And he wasn't worried, right? He was just poking away at the Esmeralda, and she almost went down from just his random poking. And I think that already shows that he knows how to play the character so well, and he knows what items are going to be very difficult for the Team Flash members to deal with. But let's look at the damage dealt and the other stats here. Man, I mean, look, it's going to be, I guess, RSG across the board for the rich guy that carries the sandbag and the Forgotten One. They're all going to be... Oh, sorry. The sandbag... The jerseys just caught me off guard. Sorry, Vex on
the battle
sandbag.
of the jerseys!
Vex on that Esmeralda took a lot of damage, took a big beating from the side of RSG. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah, but
I don't blame
honestly...
you. I saw a
Yeah,
good
they
ball
look
as
the
RSG.
Yeah, but speaking about Battle of the Romans, I think Cram God just didn't add that value, you know, to that Kufra as much as we thought it would.
I would agree, but a part of me probably just feels that he's been outshadowed by this pure superiority of map control that Lucent Cutie is able to get. And hence, I link to Lucent Cutie being the MVP.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
totally agree with that. So,
I like Roy more, you know.
oh, wow.
Who gave him the script?
There's no
Who
script
gave
here,
this
man.
guy the script?
Whoever Vertigo likes becomes the MVP.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just the moment production is like, oh, Vertigo has chosen
Do you
Roy,
like me?
So,
Yeah, of course I do. I love everybody.
oh dear. Okay.
Set up a
Anyway,
team.
let's move on from that. I mean, Roy, yes, Roy is definitely instrumental. He was very much involved in a lot of the fights.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to him, and congratulations that he got MVP for this game.
Exactly. And Roy played it to the T, right? He played his role so well as that Lilia, constantly punishing Flash for overstepping no matter what. We saw how Vanix rushed in, trying to get the kill onto Roy as well, but Roy punished him with the purple ball. I call it purple ball, sorry. It's my lingo,
Purple ball.
The
Yeah. The glue.
Right, you're not wrong. But speaking of the glooms, perhaps we'll be able to tell a lot more of a story about the glooms here, Vertigo.
Exactly. Take a look at this. Cram God flickers all the way back, and look at the aggressiveness coming out from Bray and the team help right here. Look at Bray. I love this so much. He's dashing back, he's dashing forth, and he's just juking everybody right now. And just because of that Terrify coming out from Jay, it kind of denies it. Cram God with a big jump, a big ultimate, able to take down onto Oki as well. But look at Roy. Roy just chasing them down without any fear. Take a look at that. Constantly dishing out the damage non-stop. And I think it was this fight where, yep, it all went south. Look at Vex. Vex gets so much damage. And look at, just focus on Roy. Constantly pushing out damage. Black Shoes back. And I think it was this part. Yeah, look at that. Very good jump all the way in. Roy just bursting everybody down over and over again. So this was the one where Flash almost turns it around. And Lucia, Cutie, and Roy, take a look at this. Very comes in. Roy, punish. Instantly punish. It's the Winter Trunket. Alright? Oh, it's the Lightning Trunket, sorry.
Lightning
Why did you
Trunket.
say Winter Trunket?
I
They're
think,
both Trunkets,
you know,
right?
I think we just really want winter in Singapore right now because
Yes.
it's pretty hot. But yeah, so what we've seen once again, over and over, is this story of how Roy and Bray have been such aggressive playmakers in this match. We normally look at Diablo to be that aggressive force, but
Yeah.
actually he was more of like the stabilizer, right?
It's a side cameo.
Yeah, side cameo. And we do see Roy as well as Bray just being so aggressive, jumping in, taking the risk. But it's always calculated, right? And
It's
every
always.
time they make a loss, if somebody does go down, they get something else on the other side of the map. And that's what makes RSG Slate so scary as a team.
Roy, oh Roy. Get it? Boy, oh boy.
Because, you know,
Oh boy.
last time it was Oh My Roy.
Oh my Roy.
His IGN was Oh My Roy, if I am not wrong.
I can't remember.
It was very early in the season when he was a sub.
I'm sorry that you have to be in between us, Suki.
No, it's fine. I
Boy, oh boy.
enjoy being surrounded by lovely, intelligent men like yourself.
With lots of puns, but you know what? Lovely. What do you say again? Sorry.
Beautiful man.
Beautiful man.
Yes.
You know how we get this title? Well, of course, we gotta have to give thanks over to Guardian Man. Hey, as we introduce Guardian Man, the official skincare partner of Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Singapore Season 5. With Guardian Man, you can level up your game with confidence. Our advanced skincare technology is designed to keep your skin refreshed and revitalized. You know, very
Yeah,
revitalized.
it's actually, he's glowing. In person, it's so bright, I can't really look at him. But yeah, you look great, man.
Thank you so much.
So bright.
And of course, even during all of these intense gaming sessions, you are just, you know, glowing. So you can pretty much say goodbye to all of that oily mess and acne skin. And say hello to a fresh and a new look instead.
Ooh.
So why settle for average when you can be at the top of your game with Guardian Man? Be a champion. Extra GGs in just 10 seconds with Guardian Man Techno Fight.
Yep, 10 seconds and it eliminates 99.9% acne-causing bacteria. So that's like a Paquito wiping everybody out with the combos. With a knockout strike, knockout punch.
Can you imagine just mini Paquitos coming out of the Guardian Man, the Acno Fight?
The bottle?
Okay, maybe for me that sounds a little bit terrifying, but I'm sure as two manly men, you enjoy the idea of Paquito destroying these
These bacteria.
yeah,
right?
whatever's on your
Tough
face.
love! That's what we're looking for, tough love! There ain't no way to, beat those bacteria down.
You sound like you're gonna say life was like a box of chocolate. And speaking of boxes of chocolate, the boxes the boxes of chocolate that Flash has to offer looked pretty promising on the outside. But on the
Okay.
inside,
It's bitter.
no, it's not bitter. It was the chocolates was everywhere, like you dropped the box.
I have to say this though, it's
that sucks.
actually the first time that we've seen RSG play a different game plan
Yeah.
than what they normally do, and I think maybe this is actually, I wouldn't say a challenge to Team Flash, but meeting them at their own game, I think is something that RSG Slate have definitely planned for in this scenario.
That game definitely was
fun is all that matters.
for us. And let's hope that game number 2 will be of an equal treat as Team Flash and RSG enters the second drafting phase, starting things off with a Martis, Fasa, Glue, and 1-1 ban.
Exactly, and the Flash going for the next ban right now. They could go for the Joy ban or pick it up for themselves, but not to forget, they do have an alert as well. They might want to keep that alert open or ban that alert away to keep it for themselves for their first
I am
pick,
the
but
power
instead,
of light
Flash are going to go with
incarnate.
the Kaja ban.
I wonder whether Flash now wants to pick up the Joy for themselves.
Time to drop
Give
the
them what
no,
they
no.
want. But RSG are like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you do to us what we did to you. So
Exactly.
they're going to ban
I
the
will
Joy.
choose
So
my
There
own
we
path.
go.
an alert, yeah, coming out from Flash. So I mean that's a very stable pick. It is something that I think almost every single EXP laner likes to run or wants to run, other
Yeah.
than the Glue.
I mean, the Fredrin is open right now as well for RSG Slate.
Oh yeah, that is true. And I mean, you know that Flash are not gonna take the Fredrin because Yon doesn't really play techie
Exactly.
junglers.
So maybe they just might want to leave that Fredrin open and prioritize other heroes. Especially with the Eve being knocked out right now, they could. With the Fasa knocked out right now, they could pick up the Eve before Flash does and go with that counter pick.
Alternatively, if they want to suddenly show the Fredrin on Yon, is that a possibility?
I don't
See
think
value
it would
in
be
me.
a
Getting
possibility.
It
See,
would
they
be fun though.
It would be fun, but they get snagged
Okay,
away.
okay.
And a good versatile pick as well with the Valentina.
Swing.
And
team is
Yon
lacking.
going for the Fanny.
Not bad.
All right, so this is,
No one
I mean,
can
this is
escape my
expected,
iron
right? He
fist.
has
Your
been playing
team.
the Fanny,
Oh,
the
man.
Hayabusa. So the
Badang.
Badang reply from RSG, I mean,
Is Diablo the only person who plays Badang in the regular season with confidence?
no, I don't. I believe there have been a few other Badang players. I can't get them off my head. Maybe Abstract can get that information for us.
Diablo on that Badang, we saw how much value it has added into
The southern seas are
We have a
my
total of 4 picks on
domain.
Badang,
And all is
I can
Diablo.
remember
I
picks
am
from
vengeance
Diablo.
incarnate.
So
Yeah,
I
so-
wouldn't be so surprised if he took everything.
Wow. And 100% win rate, 4 picks for Badang. So we all know the B in Diablo stands for Badang.
So we have gotten confirmation that Badang is
Yeah.
Diablo and Diablo is Badang in the regular season. And he has dominated with this pick.
This is
Exactly.
kind of like a niche pick that we're coming in to see from Diablo, and this is definitely interesting.
Among
fact
the
that we are looking
planes
at a Diablo
exists
pick
the
by-
equilibrium,
Badang picked by
which
Diablo,
I was
and
made for.
I blame production.
So
for
yeah,
that.
sorry for the viewers at home. Production wants us to let you know that it was not Diablo that picked Badang. It was Badang that has selected Diablo to be the only
Wow.
person to play that hero.
You have to be chosen, not the fact that he is chosen.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Perfect.
But take a look at the bans coming out right now. That Kaja ban, that Moskov ban, it's definitely to protect
All
Yon. They are
shots
so desperate to
Your
protect Yon,
team
and
is
a
picking.
hard counter to that Fanny as well is that Kufra. And we saw how Lucian Cutie play that Kufra to the T with the insane, just out microing every
Pain
single player right
is
here.
the
And
proof
Oki
that I'm
going
still
with the Brody
alive.
yet again.
They're going to give, or they're going to let Team Flash sweat out a little bit here,
Yeah.
leaving Lucian Cutie's hero choice to the last, so that they have a way to, I guess, counter the Fanny without giving Team Flash an opportunity to counter him. And I mean, I think if you're Yon, you're a little bit worried, right?
Yeah.
Because as opposed
I've
to
been
not
waiting
having
for
the
too
Kufra
long.
or heroes that are direct counters to Fanny, I think knowing how RSG Slate have been playing, it's going to be very scary to even jump into
I see
the enemy
lives
lineup.
fading
for
Your
away.
team is
Ooh,
picking.
wow! It's going to be a
Okay.
Selena mid, and then this is the first pick for Selena right now. And it is going to be a Selena mid along with a Cho roam. Definitely, it's not going to be a Cho mid.
Cho mid.
No, it's
Cho
not a
mid.
Cho mid. No
Cho
way.
mid, Selena roam.
Doesn't
Trust me.
doesn't Jay play Cho?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does play
mid,
Cho.
so
I trust.
Have trust.
Okay,
Have
okay,
faith
okay.
in
I like
the
this.
J. All right, because J Cho is the thing we are looking for. And so far, let's be honest here,
Command
when they play
confirmed.
this kind of game, it
Rhino
has worked out so
online.
far. But when it comes down against RSG, I guess this is a
Aha.
damage.
What do you say? Did you see the swap? I wonder who's right now.
Look,
But
my faith
we
is
digress.
placed.
We digress. But RSG Slate going with that drop, that just changes the tide of the game. That drop could just mess up the whole of Team Flash with a perfect wild charge. And we know how mechanically skilled Lucian Cutie is. And what could he bring to the table? This is the beauty of last pick. Going with the Grok. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
So let us all wipe up the entirety of the Land of Dawn, clean up every single blood that has been spilled on the battlefield as we are going to jump back in once again and witness the power of Flash and RSG. Whichever team that
5
comes up on top of
seconds
this
till the
game
enemy
will
reaches
Flash
the
be able to
battlefield.
hold
Smash
their
them.
breath long enough to go into game number 3. We shall see. Well,
Welcome
game
to
number 2
Mobile
first.
Legends.
That was a magnificent intro. I don't know where to continue from that. But, looking at the lineup, yeah, it is going to be Jay in the mid on that Selena. So Selena is going to be very painful in the early to mids. Even without too many items, she can be very aggressive. And with those traps of hers, there's going to be a lot of vision given over to the side of Team Flash. And a lot of kill potential, I think, coming out from this Selena.
Let me just put it out here first that I'm very, very sad that Jay is not playing the Cho so that I can no longer squeeze in the Jay Cho anymore. But you know what? I'm happy that the fact that Jay landed the Selena's arrow. So that is all great and fine and dandy.
Yeah, so already very early on, we do see Jay rotating, not giving RSG a chance to get comfortable, and Yon just doing Yon things.
You know what? It may not necessarily be changed at all. Because Selena is ultimately still the one that's been constantly been roaming around. And wait, does both of them actually have roam boots? Okay, that is definitely something new that I'm definitely surprised about. That was definitely fun. We'll break that down a little bit more. And perhaps if we have the time in the analyst desk together with Vertigo, we'll kind of like break it down a little bit more. But we focus a little bit more about this 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game. How has the game been evolving so far? How does this dual roam strategy?
I mean, RSG, their aggression has been countered, right? So they are not as comfortable as in the first game, how they went into the enemy jungle, went after the kills, went pushing very, very aggressively. And I think Flash right now have a bit of advantage in terms of the tempo. They are deciding where they want to go and who they want to go on. And RSG has to be very careful for their squishier heroes. And not even that, Diablo on the Badang has to be careful as well. And wow, that was a beautiful final slap for two of them. And it was just scary. Like, that's just a scary thing to happen.
Yeah, and Vix, it doesn't seem like he's even scared or faltered about
Red
anything
team has slain
that
the
RSG has been
turtle.
throwing over to him. His HP is still looking very healthy. In fact, every single one of the members from the side of Flash is very healthy indeed. RSG does have a little bit of a wall at the back of their on their backs, even though they do have a little bit of advantage when it comes to gold.
I do think that this Fanny pick, though, is I would say because Fanny requires the buffs very much so to survive and do well, you know, the first few turtles are going to go into RSG's pocket unless Flash is able to get good pick-off. So this is not a surprise, right? Fanny is not going to go in and compete against a Fredrin for the retribution battle when, you know, Fanny really needs to get her buffs, she really needs to get her items up so that she can push the lane and do a lot for the lane.
The Abyssal Arrow did manage to land on top of Oki, but Losing Cutie reacted as he quickly went for the Wild Judge plus Flicker and made sure that Jay do not have the time to land a basic attack onto Oki, effectively saving Oki.
You know, okay, never mind. RSG is just not letting up pressure now. After getting that kill onto Selena, they are going onto the chill. But I was gonna say, instead of an arrow, they just have Losing Cutie as the arrow.
It is the arrow. That's the biggest arrow I can ever see in the Land of Dawn, and that is definitely very traumatizing if you ask me. Can you imagine a rock wall literally rushing right at you in the speed of light? Boy, oh boy, I do not want that.
That's terrifying. And Roy here, we can see how aggressive he's playing. Not too worried because Losing Cutie is there to support him. And Bray, a little bit of trouble here maybe. Vex is getting a lot of damage out, but Diablo in the backline able to get both of them. Oh, actually one of them, and the other one just jumps right in. They're going to be able to get Vex down, maybe!
Just by a slipper.
Roy taking that Cho ultimate saved them right there.
He has been holding on to the Whale Dragon for quite some time, but who knew that it would come in handy in that particular situation? I'm gonna say I'm generally surprised. But RSG, they have been putting quite a lot of offensiveness and a lot of aggression all around the map. Even though Team Flash may have gotten themselves the early game kill, Flash is not really making full use of that advantage. In fact, they are slowly losing out his advantage. In fact, Yon hasn't been that aggressive at all. He did manage to, yes, pop off in the lanes every now and then, but there wasn't much value to be brought into the game.
The way that RSG have been playing, having, you know, even though Oki looks alone, he always has support around him, and he can actually single-handedly stop Yon in his tracks. We saw earlier, Yon tried to go onto him, but because of this invisible pressure from Losing Cutie being that grok of, you know, you don't know where he is, right? So Fanny has to play a little bit more conservative, and that means that Yon can't go in for those dives, those kills that he wants to go on. But in the top there, we are going to see Bray just no fear. Jay is only level 5.
That's not good. I mean, he does have the rogue boot, so that's definitely one of the reasons. But for now, the face break coming in from Diablo was hoping that he'll be able to push Jay away or potentially get the kill. In the end of the day, he's going to be the one to go down. Jay lets a Abyssal Arrow on the Bray once again. But unfortunately, nothing else is, you know, getting into fruition. But for now, we have Dragon connected. Down on the Bray, brings down himself, or rather brings the Fredrin down. RSG now have got no other play other than to take down the middle lane first to defense turret and back off.
Meanwhile, during that fight, though, Oki was pushing the mid lane, so I don't know if this is really a trade here, but they don't want to stop fighting. Vex is still going in, and Jay is trying to get more of that Abyssal Arrow. Looking at the items, okay, never mind. You just almost went. Sorry, guys. Looking at the items here, we do see that, you know, the lead from RSG Slate hasn't really gotten to a stage where it looks scary yet, but Losing Cutie getting a wild charge on to Jay here is definitely going down.
And now Vex is just going to be continuing his onslaught over to the side of Oki, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be doing much. Oki is not going to be doing much of the Vex himself as well, even though he does pop with his corner front memory. Vex is looking to be relatively tanky, and looking at the fact that he bought a Dominance Eyes, we can pretty much conclude that Vex is just going all out on tank, trying to go more on that building a space for team.
And I wonder whether now this is the time that Team Flash feel like they can actually contest this turtle. You know, they are a little bit down in terms of levels and in terms of gold, but they're not even going to contest it. They're still going to let Bray have his way with the turtle. So this Fanny, you know, she's not here to take objectives, she's here to get kills, but even then, she's not getting the kills.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I really do like what Team Flash is doing with a double roam, just so that they will be able to get the area superiority in their northern jungle. They're trying to get a lot more of that information. They're trying to uncover if whether there's anyone in the brushes. They're trying to uncover if whether anyone is trying to be aggressive into their northern part of jungle. With the fact that they have a Joe, they also have a Selena. in theory, this should work very well. This should help and enable this Fanny to get his buff uptime 100%. But unfortunately, they have put a lot of resources in the early stages of the game. And Yon didn't really have that much of kill pressure. And now it's already out of the territory for Yon to even do something. And now it is all in the hands of Vix and Vanix.
And you can see there, right, there's a whole lineup. The entire lineup of Team Flash is ready to jump onto Losing Cutie, but they're not he's not concerned because his team is so spread out across the map. They are monopolizing the farm, they are getting as much space and as much macro pressure as they want, and we just have the entirety of Team Flash in a turtle formation, but their lineup is not really suited for this. They're not really suited for like a 5-on-5, my face is your sort of headbutt scenario.
Exactly.
So this is not the Team Flash that should be playing to their strengths, but as I say that, they have spread out across the map, so maybe they're gonna think of a good counter attack here.
The laning phase is super important for Team Flash, but now that that is over,
Red team hero has been slain.
The only way that they can win is really just completely overwhelming.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
And just literally opening up space. Every single one of the members from the side of Team Flash is very
team
reliant
turret has
on
been destroyed.
target abilities and breaking one person down at a time. Jay, Abyssal Arrow, everything else, single person. Vix wins in a single in a 1v1 combat. The dual mechanics is super good for this for the Arlen. In fact, everyone else is except for Yon. So Yon gotta have to do something when it really boils down to a team fight. For now, Cram goes down Oki. That's gonna be traded out as well. So that's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. Roy did manage to get away on a dragon on top of Yon. That is absolutely mesmerizing to watch. Having a Valentina kick the crab out of a Fanny.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? Because you look at this lineup, you thought, Oki went down pretty early. You think that RSG Slate are going to let off the pressure, they're going to, fall back, maybe not consider this Lord. But Flash is the one that have to run with their tail between their legs. And, that means that the formation of RSG does not rely on this Brewing to get the kill, whereas we have seen Vanix needs to be there for Diablo to go down. So that's very scary.
If Team Flash, well, technically, like I said before, it's all about single target abilities. They're all about knocking one person down at a time. In order for them to skill properly and really take a fight against RSG, they need to have the gold advantage. And once they have the gold advantage, well, Team Fight wouldn't be that difficult. We look at RSG as a whole, and perhaps individually as well. Losing Cutie is going to be really good in team fights just because of its power of nature, being able to swing a wide area. But most of the time, as a Grog, you'll want to create space. Diablo is a space break, all about AoE. Roy, AoE. Bray, AoE with the taunt and create space. While Oki, being an MM, we understand that he has to do single target abilities.
And here we see Team Flash just poking away at RSG. RSG not even caring about it, still going to be really pretty healthy. Even though we see Bray getting caught out or Diablo getting caught out, it doesn't feel like RSG necessarily, not say they don't care, but I think RSG are not too concerned right now. And RSG just going to go with this Lord. Crime God is hoping for a pickoff, right? He needs to be behind a squishy hero in order to push them into his teammates. So whether or not he's going to be able to get Roy here or maybe Diablo, he's actually going to go for Diablo here from the rear. But Diablo is the one that catches him first.
As the wall is erected right in front of Crime God. It doesn't seem like things are working well. Look at Losing Cutie with a quick little rush down. Was hoping that he'll be able to bring Crime God down, but he got a little bit too greedy as he wasn't just keeping pace, wasn't keeping awareness of where his opponents were, or perhaps just greedy in general. He lost his life trying to end the life of another roamer. Value? I don't see anywhere.
No, yeah, that was an unfortunate choice for Losing Cutie. Maybe we have spoken about this battle of roamers too much, and now he has a grudge against Grand God. But yeah, so now Team Flash, they do have a bit of an advantage here. They are going to stick together as 4 though, and they have to hope against hope that they can pick up one at a time. They are going to jump on in, but Grand God gets caught out by the Badang. Roy as well is going to take down Vex here.
That Weight of the Dragon was absolutely wonderful from the side of Roy. He's constantly catching people out with the Weight of the Dragon and just constantly just being able to single the members from the side of Flash out one time after another. Vex as well as Crime God is going to be the two unfortunate souls that will be descending away from the land of Dawn, at least for now. All of the inhibitor turrets from the side of Team Flash, fortunately, is still up and running. they do have Fanny. So at least when it comes down to split pushes, it's not out of the equation yet.
Yeah, I think for RSG, the biggest concern is if in a key team fight, Team Flash managed to isolate the one member that they need alive. And I think in this scenario, Roy right now is that person that they want to take down because he has been instrumental with his ultimate steals with the IMU. And he has been instrumental in also, I guess, scouting out where Team Flash is coming from because Valentina does have those dashes that a bit extra mobility over walls. So now, oh no, they think that they're going in for a trap, but instead RSG is the one waiting for them. Kremgod getting taken down low, they're going to get taken out.
And now, of course, once and again, another wild shot from the side of Losing Q. They did manage to isolate Kremgod and brings him down. Almost immediately, if you don't mind, Roy is unfortunately going to be the other unfortunate soul that will go down. This is the comeback mechanic
Red team
that
has
we are
slain the Lord.
Side of Flash, feeding everything over to Vanix because we do have Vix that is able to get a good amount of stun in. We do have Jay, we have Crime God as well. All of them just need to isolate one player after another just for Vanix to pour in the damage.
But Vanix, with that damage, is going to be able to burst down the entirety of RSG pretty quickly as long as he's left alone.
Exactly.
So if RSG don't catch Vanix out in the next couple of fights, I think it's going to be a very, very different story, right? Because he is 4-0-2 on that carry. He's going to be scary to face against.
Here's the thing, right? One of the main ways that RSG can even jump over to the backlines and really deal with Vanix is when they have their flicker available. Most importantly, Losing QD needs to get a wild charge in.
Blue team base turret
As
has
long as
been
Vanix
destroyed.
positioning is good, he will be able to stay alive most of the time. However, the problem is Flash's front lines is just not capable of holding out long enough for Vanix to do all of the damage. Vanix can stay alive, but he just can't have the front line stay alive for long enough. As now Roy with the Widow Dragon and just gonna be isolating one member after another. RSG promptly destroyed Flash in this game. There wasn't just much that Flash could do.
You know, Vanix was their comeback mechanic, but Vex, with that final slash, has actually disrupted RSG in so many of their fights. So him going down there immediately signals to RSG that this is our game, we're gonna take it. But anyway, enough of us. Vertigo, what do you think?
RSG Slate SG played it to the T, right? They saw this Selena coming and they made great use of it. At the very final fight, right? If it was somebody else, it was somebody different, maybe a Julian mid, the fight could have turned around, right? But because of this Selena pick, yes, it's good in the early game, yes, you may get catch, but you have to use it to its maximum potential. You need to add as much value as you can with this Selena.
I have the one question about the double roaming boots.
Yeah.
Is that something, I feel like if the Selena hadn't gone for the roaming boots, maybe
No,
that would be
they are
better.
forced to go with the roaming boots because this Selena has to be roaming and she has to add that value, catching out everybody with that Abyssal Arrow. In turn, you're going to be losing farm, hence the roaming boots.
So ultimately, with that forced situation from there, they themselves forced themselves in a way whereby they gotta have to execute something. And in the event that it doesn't work, all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And in this case, that is the defeat of Flash themselves.
I mean, like, every time we see a team fight and we think that RSG is going to win handily, it's always been Vex who has been stopping them, right? And I think that boils down to Arlet as a hero, as well as Vex mechanical play being very, very good. But there's only so many times you can, do that reliably before RSG eventually break through because they get the right kill at the right time.
Exactly, and Flash, they had the right idea in mind. Vanix was online at about 12 minutes and 40 seconds already. He was going crazy, and 5-0-2 on that carry. It was very, very quick.
Honestly, Vanix, he's got all his items up already.
Everything up.
Flash was ready to rumble. And unfortunately, because of that rumble, they're also ready to implode with the wrong rumble.
Yeah.
And in this case, I'm gonna be critical here. Yon is not stepping up.
Yeah.
A lot of the early game plans is all up onto Yon. As long as Jay, as well as Cram God, is able to open things up for Yon to get him the purple buff, to be aggressive, I can't see a lot of ways that they will be able to lose.
I think we did see in the early game, Yon tried to go in an Oki I
Yeah.
think 2 or 3 times, and he kept getting denied. And it wasn't necessarily because of, losing QD or anyone else. It was just that Oki's positioning was so good
Yeah.
in this game.
It was too superior to the point where because of this Brody, his kit will have that momentary stun. Yes, they took out the Moskov. That's a very good deny to the Fanny as well.
Yes.
But you have a Brody for a quick little iframe stun and one-shotting this Fanny.
Yon, it's tough. It's a tough game for him.
It's a tough
right?
game for Yon. He keeps getting denied.
Right. He can't go over to the EXP lane to get a free kill because we're talking about
Diablo.
We're talking about a Badang or the Diablo, or rather the other way around.
It's Badang, it's just Badang.
A Diablo on a Badang, Badang
Exactly.
on a Diablo, yeah, so on and so forth. And for Oki, Loser QD is always there.
Always.
So it's really tough for him to do anything. If he's if he finds a way to eventually work onto Oki, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get a lot more kills in.
Oh no, it's not. Oh man.
He's wrong this time.
Man.
He's wrong
No,
this
you
time.
know why? Because he didn't say I like Oki.
I like Oki.
Oh,
he just
man.
said it's gonna be Oki, which
Yeah.
it negates it entirely. So it is.
So it doesn't count. It's not on record.
Yeah,
It's
so,
not on the record.
So it is Lucian Cutie who is going to take it. And he has been setting up, every single fight for RSG.
Crucial
And
plays.
Very.
yeah, very, 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 very good mechanical plays coming out from Lucian Cutie.
I think we really need that one play in the highlight. I really hope that it is in the highlight. Losing QD like a bullet. Just rush straight through, wild charge plus flicker, stopped Jay right in his tracks. That is just fast gameplay. That's fast fingers, fast reactions, and he completely blew me away just from that quick little thing. You don't need a lot of mechanics or anything.
Yeah.
It's just your brain going autopilot.
It's just flick and go. It's like an automatic go. It's like a trigger finger, right? The
Exactly.
moment, or a trigger hair on a Venus flytrap, the moment it activates us and just snaps you up, just like the wild charge. But we're gonna see a little bit more of that in the highlights. I just can't wait for the highlights, guys.
Please tell me more, Vertigo.
I mean, take a look at this. Jay, look at Lucia Cutie on how he instantly demolishes
Like a
this.
bullet!
And Oki with the iframe flickering away with the Tonopon memory. Insane catch. And this was great. Bray, Vex with a good final slash, able to catch down onto Bray. Badang comes in with a million punches. And Roy comes in with the big catch. Kremgod gets a double man knockup, but 3v1, how are you gonna fight that?
Not much. You can't really do much at that point in time.
Exactly. Lucid Cutie, look at this. They managed to lock down onto Kremgod, forcing him to go back. Good final slash coming out as well. Oki goes down. Vanix with a very, very good aggression. And
Yon,
exactly.
I saw what Roy did.
Exactly.
He knew that Fanny will jump onto him.
Yes.
That's why he's getting in the way of the dragon all the time.
Exactly. And that is just superior positioning coming out from Roy. Right? He predicted it. He saw it coming. Kremgod, take a look at this. He gets knocked out. Flicker, wild charge comes in. And final slash as well. And take a look at Yon. He's just a little bit out of position every single time because of this disruption. And it forces Yon to stand in a position which he doesn't like, which he's very uncomfortable with. And that's how Roy catches him off.
I'm gonna have a hot take here.
Please.
I think that Cho was a bad choice because the Cho ultimate was used to their detriment more than it was
Exactly.
used
So
to help them.
exactly. So the good choice right now, a meta pick, Valentina. You can't go wrong with the Valentina.
But I also think that, we can't take away from Roy, right? He knew exactly when to save that ultimate. We saw him use it to save Bray, and we saw him use it to save himself.
Yeah.
And multiple times that was the game changer in a lot of these team fights.
I would want to agree about the Cho being a bad pick. I really do want to. But I think that this is just a series of unfortunate events for Flash, right? They can definitely make it work. In the hands of Kremgod, I wouldn't be surprised. But it just so happens that RSG feels like as though they know Flash right however they want to play. They have Flash right in the palm of their hands and knows how they would want to do things. So honestly, I think it's just RSG making a very good play, not necessarily on the fact that Flash made mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, RSG, they played it to the T, and Flash as well, like you said, had them in the palm of the hands and just crush you.
Yeah, I just, I feel like for Cho for Cho games that we have seen, it's either you love the Cho or you hate the Cho. There's never like a...
Is JPL or no JPL?
Yeah, there's like...
I love the Cho, personally. But, well, I don't know if whether the players love the Cho. We'll just pass it over to Cheryl and have a quick little interview over to them. Abstract, Suki, and Vertigo.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, perfect score record, untainted, right here at the regular season run. And this is our defending champions, ladies and gentlemen, RSG Slate SG. And right now beside me, everybody online has been going absolutely crazy for him. The MVP right here, Lucian QT, everyone.
Hello guys.
We are so very stoked. We have so many questions for you, Lucian QT. And of course, we also have Coach Jolly right here with us as well. So first up, I think, Coach, you must be very, very proud. We have all the #1 stats right here. Lucian QT has highest number of assists in game. Oki has highest number of kills right here in the overall regular season. So you must be very proud how they're doing. So what about you, Lucian QT? How are you feeling the fact that, you know, you're the most involved, highest assist right here in game?
I feel happy, but not very happy because our target is game to win, right? And then assist and kill is just a bonus for us. And yeah, that's all.
Right. So knowing what you know in MPL ID, how is it different adapting to so-called the Singapore gameplay?
I think the gameplay is not too different, but the communication is need a bit adaptation because in here we need to short call using English, right? Then when I go here, I must learn adaptation also and learn a bit about English. Yeah, I think that. But overall, for until now, there's no problem lah.
Right, based on the way you delivered, it seems absolutely just flawless. You're great. And yeah, and of course, you know, moving forward, we're gonna see some exciting matches as well. I believe Team SMG is gonna come up real soon. How are you guys going to prepare for that?
I think no more extra prepare, just like previous week, we train, we scrim, prepare for the SMG and Blade also.
Right. So right here, before the old RSG roster, we had Lolzy. And, you know, Lolzy is really, really well loved by all of us right here at MPL SG and well missed as well. So those were big shoes to fill. And you definitely have been making waves. So how does it feel, you know, replacing Lolzy as a roamer?
Honestly, I also ask a bit about gameplay and then how is in-game and short call also. Lolzy helped me a lot in playing as a roamer in RSG.
Right, so just an interesting question for Coach Jolly. Why Badang for Diablo?
I think because I want to punch them. I want to punch Diablo, so I like punch heroes like Paquito, Badang.
So you
I
want
choose him the heroes that can punch also.
Punch and kick one, I'll give him.
Yeah, because Diablo deserves the punch.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so I hope you guys have got your answers right there. So really, we're very, very happy to have you right here with us, you know, on the Singapore team for RSG Slate. Wonderful, phenomenal plays. Thank you for bringing a breath of fresh air right here in the whole MPL SG scene. So thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us. Really, it is so refreshing, like for most of us right here, even the casters. It's really refreshing to see, you know, surprise picks, cheese picks, as we have mentioned. Like, it's very refreshing to see, you know, outside of the normal meta heroes, wonderful leaked heroes as well. So this is why MPL SG Season 5 is unlike ever that you have seen before. If you have enjoyed the matches today, remember to call on your friends to come on over and check us out. We are available on all of your favorite platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch. So yes, we have ended ended the interview right here for our defending champions. Boy, oh boy, undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, it concludes match 4 right here for week 3, day 1. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our overall standings. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, with that perfect sweep once more, it catapulted them right here. RSG Slate SG, 15 points, undefeated. And right behind them, we have Team SMG SG with 12 points. Trailing right behind them, we have Bleed Esports with 10 points to their name. Now, there has been a little bit of a switcheroo. We have seen Revival right now at 8 points in 4th position. So as it seems right now, the upper brackets has been quite spaced apart, but anything can happen right here in the middle section, because in 5th position, we have Starlark SG with 6 points to the name, Team Flash SG with 5 points, and Alchemy SG and Evil both taking 1 games today, marking them at 2 points each. Wow, what a shift right here for week 3, day 1. And right now, we only have 2 more days left. It is crucial. It is crunch time. The teams are right now heading back to recalibrate and get ready for a brand new day, and that is week 3, day 2. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the upper bracket is so coveted because it grants the teams that extra life in the playoff seasons. So with that, let's take a look. What matches are happening tomorrow? So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the schedule for week 3, day 2 that is happening tomorrow. For match 1 happening at 10 a.m., we have Bleed Esports going head-to-head with Stellark. Whereas on the other hand, match 2, this is a match, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't want to miss. We have Team SMG crossing swords with RSG Slate SG happening at 1 p.m. as our highlight match. This is one that you don't want to miss because we're gonna get a little bit of a taster of what we can anticipate over at playoffs, because positions 1 and 2 will be duking it out. Now for match 3, we'll be seeing Team Flash going head-to-head against Alchemy SG at 4 p.m. and ending of the day for week 3, day 2, we're gonna have Revival closing the show going head-to-head with Evil. Wow, what an exciting lineup. We're going to get a little bit of a taste as to what we're going to get at playoffs. Will they pull out all of the stops right here from match 2 itself? You got to spend Sunday right here with us, so come on over and join us. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you viewing us right now, we thank you so much for your support, for spending your Saturday right here with us. And of course, MPL SG Season 5 wouldn't have been possible without all of our wonderful sponsors. MPL SG Season 5 is powered by Moontan and Zenwave Productions. Our official partners, Frank Bio CBC and Ghani Man. Our partners in esports, My Republic, Olsen, and Suntech City Mall. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cheryl Yao. It has been a pleasure hosting right here at MPL SG Season 5. Tomorrow, same action, wonderful plays, all awaiting you right here on your favorite platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. See you at 10 a.m. Be there or be square. Signing out.